Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Yep, we did.
Yep. That really scares me.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Oh, that's right. We went up to the office last time, but we didn't go through... We took too long messing with that bookcase, I guess. Wow.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley
You're allowed to go
walked
down
upstairs
now.
to his boss's office.
Wow. I didn't learn the last time, apparently. Whee! Oh. Red light. Red light. Why is there a police car thing?
That's not a police car.
He just couldn't do it. He considered
hard.
the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone
2B4.
his boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy.
Out
All
of
of my
3.
co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to find
2B4.
an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go
2B4.
boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if
Is anything changing?
have to take
No.
responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float?
Wait, what happens to the ones 2B4? We just came out of that room, right?
No, that's the next room.
Next room? Okay.
Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this.
Is it going to reset and make us go upstairs to the boss's office?
He thought to himself, I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Nope, you are not.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I?
I didn't get the car that time.
Everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk.
Dead Stanley.
Although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
The end is never the end. Okay, so I guess we're going up to the boss now?
Yeah. I don't think he'll let me go
All of his
downstairs.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase,
You thought about it.
walked upstairs
Thought
to
about
his
it.
boss's office.
What?
Executive bathroom.
Didn't say anything before, did it?
I think you went the other way before.
No, I went this way first
Did you?
to see if there was anything there.
No, you went this way.
No, I went here, then I went down there to look. Then I came back here. There wasn't anything there. I think this game is trying to make me think that I'm...
Wait,
What?
that's not the same.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Okay. I don't know if we're on or off track.
Neither do I.
Loading, loading, loading.
Is that bad or good?
I don't know. Does it mean we're gonna play Minecraft again?
I hope not, because then that means we're gonna play for.
Deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
I'm sorry, that just... I'm scared he's gonna yell at me and do stuff again.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Well, that sounds good. Nothing wrong in there.
Oh.
Escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
He's trying to trick me. He's trying to trick me. You're trying to trick me, aren't you?
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Okay.
Yes, real.
You don't think it... Well, it's just loading. It doesn't say...
The end is never the end. It always says that at the end by each failure.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story. Trapped for
This is gonna go badly. But it looks like when you get close before it comes at you, you can jump down on the platform. Do you see it?
No, I can't move.
signed and willingly accepted this violent
Go off to the left or the right side.
I can't.
When you get over it.
Stanley.
I seriously can't move.
Oh, okay.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral
was a narrator?
instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Wait, you can move.
The narrator have a narrator. And why didn't she start this in the first place? I like her better.
Okay.
I'm just feeling I can't really see where I'm going.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
You have a narrator for the narrator. Inception. Wow.
Now, every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance. Death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that
Is that the map of the
Stanley was
office?
already dead from the moment he hit start?
Yep, there's your office. There's the first room.
Office layout. Blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. Path from Stanley's office is 2 rows with the first part of the game was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout development. The layout remains almost identical to the first.
Iteration.
I go here. I go here.
And then there's the choice store.
Yeah.
What's this sign say?
Corridor. The pacing of this open section was important to get right. Corridor has been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the two doors in a good time.